Rndr is the hottest AI altcoin on the market right now, and it has just recently become the biggest AI coin by market cap, having just entered the top 30. And despite the crypto sell-off that we have seen over the past few days, we are talking about a coin that is still up 126% in the past month, 750% over the past year, and up 2,550% from its bear market lows at 40 cents, as this coin currently sits at $11.15. Additionally, we do have the Nvidia GTC conference right around the corner. This is going to be the biggest AI event of the year so far, and the Rndr Network CEO is speaking at this event, where he has confirmed some very big announcements are on the way. You can expect to hear about all of this and what I believe it is going to do for the price action in today's episode of the Everything Crypto Show. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do enjoy the content, please consider hitting that sub and like button and turn that notification bell on so you can be notified when all of our latest videos go live on the channel. So we're going to get right into today's altcoin of discussion, and that is Rndr. We did speak about Rndr earlier this week on the channel. Since then, we have seen the markets kind of flatline and pull back from those highs. However, even with the pullback, Rndr is still up over 10% on the week, because this thing has been pumping over the past month. I mean, really since the bear market lows, you can see that up over 2,500%. And at its peak earlier this week, this coin was up basically 3,000% from the bear market lows. But I really think a lot of this move has been in anticipation of the upcoming Nvidia GTC event. This is shaping up to be the biggest AI event of the year, and we know that the Rndr CEO, Jules Urbach, is going to be speaking at this event and updating everyone attending on the future of GPU, AI rendering, and light field technologies, and what the Rndr network has been working on. So I do think that we've seen a lot of buying pressure based on this. However, I think a lot of people are pricing in a sell the news event, and this is a notion that I do tend to disagree with, and I'm going to talk about that in today's video. But first, I do want to mention that I have also added a small cap AI play to my portfolio. And when I say small cap, I'm talking like sub 50 mil, so tons of room to run in terms of the total addressable market for AI. And I will be talking about this in tomorrow's video. So if you want to tune in and find out what the newest small cap AI altcoin I have added to my portfolio is, feel free to check out tomorrow's video. And yeah, it'll be dropping around noon Eastern Daylight Time as always. So here's a tweet from the Rndr Network. Register for Nvidia's GTC 24 for a deep dive into the future of GPU, AI rendering, and light field tech with Rndr Network's Jules Urbach. And here is the official post on the Nvidia GTC website. Now, this event, I mean, for starters, I think that this is Nvidia's most important GTC conference yet, just considering the fact that Nvidia really has been the biggest story in the market. This stock has been on fire, up 2,000% over the past 5 years. And even if we take a look from those lows in October 2022, this coin is up just under 700%, which is insane for a company with a $2.23 trillion market cap. And if we consider that Rndr is collaborating with Nvidia and only sits with a $4.2 billion market cap, you know, I think that this coin has a lot of room to run based on the narrative and also based on the fundamentals and just the demand for this GPU power, which Rndr does have. Okay, so we also did get confirmation from Jules Urbach that there are going to be some very big, leaks. I don't want to say leaks, but very big reveals at this event in regards to what the Rndr network has been doing with AI. And before we hop into the importance of this event, I do want to show you guys this clip that demonstrates that the Rndr Network CEO has actually been working with Nvidia CEO for over 10 years. So we're going to watch this clip real quick, and then we're going to talk about it.
I'd like to introduce from Otoy. Where's Jules? I saw him earlier. Hey, Jules, come up here. Jules Urbach, he is the CEO of Otoy. He's the founder of Otoy.
This particular window has 112 GPUs connected to it. Now, you don't need all those GPUs at once. In fact, we can service many customers. It's completely elastic. But when you want to render that frame, you should take, as Jensen was saying...
Now, by the way, the fact that all of this graphics is done in Southern California, and we're looking at it like this...
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's already pretty cool.
And now we're heading into a world with real-time rendering AI. It's really kind of hard to predict, how massive GPU computing is going to change things.
There you have it, guys. There is the clip that basically proves that Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, has actually been working with Jules Urbach over the past 10 years. Now, interestingly enough, in this video, they are doing a lot of, graphics rendering, and that's what they're showcasing here. However, Rndr Network has transitioned into offering their idle GPU power for machine learning tasks. And that's a very big and meaningful transition if you consider the demand for, machine learning, large language models that kind of began with the launch of ChatGPT, a very strategic shift on Rndr's behalf, and one that clearly has paid off in terms of the token price. So, I don't know any other AI altcoin that has had connections to Nvidia over the past 10 years, and that's why Rndr does continue to be my large cap AI coin of choice. Now, we did also see here from Jules Urbach, this image was floating around in Telegram chats, basically saying that he may potentially be diving into some AI updates for Rndr, given the speed and massive changes around the Rndr network. Basically depends on if he does get the green light from the team. And we did also see actually from here himself on Twitter said, wrapped up an amazing afternoon with Eric Schmidt here at Otoy HQ just now, mapping out the future of Rndr and brainstorming on our latest AI tech. Very excited to share more details on all of this at GTC 24. So basically confirmed from him right there on Twitter that they are going to have some AI events going live at Nvidia GTC 24. And I do think that given the amount of influence Nvidia has had on the market, that there's going to be a lot of institutions watching all of the conferences and kind of seeing what the next steps are for Nvidia. And therefore, this could put a ton of eyes on the Rndr network, a ton of institutional eyes, which, when we're talking about those large inflows into altcoins, that is definitely something that you do want to see. So that's why I do think that although a lot of people are pricing this in as a sell the news event, that we could also see a scenario play out where we sell the news, but then very quickly snap back up as institutions are looking to load their bags, having just been introduced to the Rndr network. And even on this recent dip that we have seen here in the markets, right? I mean, the Rndr basically dipped all the way down to about $10.15. But since then, it's rallied just about 10%, now back over $11. So, clearly there is demand for this altcoin. People are buying this dip. And I don't think that'll be any different if this does end up being a sell the news event. Now, we did speak a little bit about Rndr's transition into AI, and for those of you that, are maybe new to the project, this was not always an AI altcoin, okay? What Rndr used to actually be was a GPU rendering platform, basically offering idle GPU compute power for people to basically tap into this power, use it for 3D content creation, and then for the people that were lending out their idle GPU power, they would get paid in the Rndr tokens. Now, what the Rndr network team has done is they have basically shifted the use case for this idle GPU power to only being for 3D content creation for spatial content, and they have now also transitioned into offering this idle GPU compute for machine learning tasks. So they do have 4 AI compute clients as partners at the moment. They have IO.net, BeamCloud, FedML, and Nosana, and the Rndr network will be servicing many different types of AI use cases. So for example, FedML is using a technique called federated learning. Federated learning is a machine learning approach that allows multiple parties to collaborate to collaboratively train machine learning models on their local data without sharing the data itself. Intel and Microsoft contributed to the development of FedML. And as this use case does continue to expand, I personally expect that more AI partners and more AI jobs will be deployed through Otoy's Octane workflow, which is the parent company to Rndr, and therefore that more people will be using the Rndr network for those machine learning tasks. Now, here's a tweet from Randoshi Tokamoto, and he basically talks about some of the upcoming narratives that there are for this altcoin. So Nvidia GTC, that's the biggest one. Next up, we have the Bitcoin halving that we know of anyways. We know that's coming in about a month's time. More compute clients, spatial content like we saw on the Apple Vision Pro streaming framework, Binance listing Rndr SPL. So for those of you that don't know, the Rndr token is on Ethereum. They recently bridged over to Solana. So, maybe seeing that listed on major exchanges will positively impact the price action because Solana and its entire ecosystem has been on fire this bull run. The Fed pivot back to, lowering rates, Ethereum ETF, which I think will spark a much broader altcoin rally. And then U.S. elections, which do tend to be bullish years despite some volatility, plus more. So, yeah, lots of catalysts coming up for this token. Again, why I'm definitely not treating the Nvidia conference like a sell the news event. And I did tweet here, could see a scenario where Rndr pulls back 30% following the Nvidia conference, shakes out all the weak hands, all while bouncing off previous all-time highs at 880 as a level of support and starting the next leg up to $20. I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm saying that this is crypto. Anything can happen, and I would not be shocked to see something like this play out, okay? So we can actually see here if we take a look at the chart, and let me just zoom in. So, this was the 2021 all-time high. Came in at about $8.80. We did start covering Rndr basically in 2023. Now, what I was looking at and when I did kind of talk about this big breakout here was around this area at the $5.30 level. If you take a look back at 2021, the all-time high was $8.80, but we were only above it for about 2 weeks. This area right here caused a lot more problem for the Rndr token in terms of giving that resistance, and then we never got back above it before the bear market kicked in. So, I kind of argued in my previous videos that once we broke above $5.30, that is when I expected to see a very big move to the upside, as there's really not much support or resistance, or not even a lot of price action at these levels, okay? So you can see here that we got rejected at $5.30, fell all the way back down to about $3.50, and then boom, on a second retest, broke right back above it, and then, from then it's really just been off to the races for this coin. And the one thing that I do kind of want to point out here is, we basically said that this was looking like a clear sky territory. And when you're above all-time highs, there is no prior price action to go on. You are in price discovery, and that is where Rndr is at the moment, okay? Something that, that doesn't look really good here is this bearish double top on the weekly candles, this rejection at $12.73. However, like I said, we are in price discovery mode. We don't know exactly where this thing is going to go from here. We even can see here that it actually bounced off about the $10 level as an area of support, $9.90, and that dip got eaten up real quick. So we know the market likes round numbers, and Rndr breaking into the double digits is significant. So we could also see $10 act as an area of support here for the token from that $12.73 level that we peaked at earlier this week. That represents about a 20% decline from all-time highs, and we could easily see 20-30% declines are normal for Bitcoin, and for even bigger pullbacks for the altcoin market on the way up. But if you just zoom out and take a look at this chart, you can clearly see that this thing is in an uptrend despite the volatility. Additionally, let's take a look at the Rndr Bitcoin valuation. I do always think it's worth it to compare altcoins to their Bitcoin pair, and you can see here, just like the USD pair, all-time highs actually came back here to backtest this all-time high versus Bitcoin, and has now bounced higher. So looking good on the USD pair, looking good on the Bitcoin pair. Nvidia conference coming up, AI set to be one of the biggest narratives, if not the biggest narrative of the upcoming bull run, and that is why I remain bullish on the Rndr token. So on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content in today's video. I hope you are all staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.